Well, here we are. We're back to the Casita. So what we're doing today is we've done some scouting. What I was told is there's a missing part to the gray water system. I'm gonna check that out. I've kind of done a preliminary check from the check valve up to the tank, but there are some other connections that I'm gonna check out there. I believe there's one from the shower into the tank as well as the sink into the tank. I was told by the prior owner that this trailer was parked in Portland at some point and some person removed a piece, so I'm going to check that out. I did see some problems down here. There appears to be a repair in the gray water system that it's not the end of the world, but I think I'm going to have to do some modifying, but that's not a today problem. In fact, I think I can probably heat. So basically, anytime, it's me, John, welcome to the channel, your part-time plumber today. And so what I'll probably do on that, so the issue with that is I can already see that the trailer's basically level right now, and the gray water dump valve goes in a pipe to the gray water tank. The gray water tank, if you know anything about plumbing, the pipe from the tank to the gray water valve needs to run downhill at least a degree or two, and that's not the case. It appears to me that the pipe, when it was replaced, if you've ever glued together plastic piping, that stuff, once it sets, it doesn't move. I may try to cheat that a little bit with a heat gun, maybe, to try to arch it up a little bit. So it's hanging lower than it should, and just slightly. So we'll see if we can't cheat that up a little bit at some point. But today's investigation is going to involve me, hopefully, finding the missing pipe. It's always fun to buy used stuff and get to do a little bit of detective work, if you will. If you're a big fan of crime podcasts, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're going to play amateur sleuth today and try to find the missing pipe in the gray water system. Hopefully it'll be a simple fix, something that's available at the local hardware store. It looks like it uses pretty standard ABS 1.5 inch pipe. So stay tuned and welcome back. So this is what we're looking at. This was a quick detective work on my part, but if you can see up here, I'm trying to shine my flashlight. We have an empty gray water pipe that appears to go to where I'm shining the flashlight right there, which would be the sink drain. So, unless I'm mistaken, I think we can solve this problem with a, what do you call them? A P-trap, basically. Not sure why you'd have a P-trap in this, but it does, or it appears to. There's a little valve there. Actually, you can probably see it right up here. But I'm going to be trying to figure that out. Looks like a pretty simple drain type situation. Sorry, I'm putting a flashlight in my mouth. Let's see if that, oh, that comes right off. So I need something like that guy right there. Oh. I put a compression washer in this side. This pipe is should be glued together, but it's not. But as you can see, she's pretty sturdy. There's some vibration stuff built in there. There's a little fitting in between these two collars, and this plastic's pretty soft. We'll see how this holds up. It is really low though. I'm thinking long term this is going to have to get some other way. Obviously they had a P-trap on here originally, and that may have just broken off and Duder didn't know it. But it's on there pretty solid. I haven't leak checked it yet. I'm a little hesitant to do that, but I think it's pretty good for a first effort. Again, this is the drain from the sink, or maybe the shower actually. Let me go dump some water in it and we'll see. As with many of my projects, there's good news and bad news. So the good news is that the drain the gray water system, the only break in the line is for the shower drain. We could actually, now that I've investigated more, do some stuff with, we could go camping, just not shower, is kind of where I'm at. We have use of the bathroom sink, the kitchen sink, that stuff, but there's a valve that actually shuts off the shower drain. So that's all to the good. I'm gonna have to reapproach this shower drain project in the future with maybe a better assortment of parts, maybe do a little bit of disassembly. Unfortunately, the way these are assembled, it's with ABS pipe, they're all glued together, so you can't, it's not as simple as just taking them apart. I'll have to cut it apart, and that requires the use of additional glue and pieces, so I'm gonna have to saw it apart and then go buy the appropriate pieces of pipe to actually repair it properly. And what I'm kind of working out in my head right now is what I'm gonna do to actually attach the drain fixture to that ABS pipe. I'm coming to you from the future, or coming to myself from the future, something like that. Anyway, so back on the plumbing, the gray water tank, I was running into some issues, and I was cruising around a bigger hardware store today, and I came upon a product, this one, because basically what I'm missing is a P-trap, but it goes to what I think is like a 2-inch ABS pipe that's been kind of filed down. And I tried putting a regular P-trap in there. Let me see if I can jump in there and light this up well enough to open this piece that I just purchased. Otherwise, I've got to cut this 2-inch ABS, probably right there, since somebody before me kind of filed it down there. So I'm hoping this may solve some of our issues, because that other P-trap that you can see here was fit okay, so the offset's about right. The problem with that one was that I couldn't get it to seal on that wonky pipe there. However, that one I just showed in the camera is right there. You can see that's like a soft rubber, and so I took this piece to compare, so that looks like it'll fit in there. Let me grab some tools and I'll bring you back. So this is kind of a multi-fit deal. I need 1.5 inches, so I'm going to cut it right up here. Like, there's different diameters, right? This is 1.25 inches diameter, this is 1.5 inches diameter. But they've made it so that, hopefully, my little razor knife, this is where I cut my thumb off, in case you were wondering. We'll trim this guy. I'm hoping this fixes my issue, because again, I don't want to have to rip apart and glue pipe and do that sort of thing. So we're kind of taking the easy way out on this deal. Let's take these guys. Let's see, if I put it on like that, I'm going to want these guys like this, I believe. So I want those guys preloaded on there. Make sure they're both facing the same direction. Let's see if we can, in real time, slip this together. We're not hacksawing anything today, hopefully. This would just make my weekend right now if this turns out to be a deal. So, this, again, you can see how messed up that is. So, I've put that longer piece in there. It's already kind of screwed in. That slips up there, no sweat. So, this is the harder side. So there's a little bit of tension on this one. Because again, it's all kind of jimmy rigged together here. I might wind up putting a little grease or something on there. A little bit of lubricant. Okay, so what we need this guy to do is now slip up into that just like so, and then that clamp will go right there, and we'll have a pretty positive connection, I believe. I could have put those on the other way. Sorry, now I got to scrunch under here and get another hand on the Hooyah here. This was made for my janky operation. Kudos to the Ace Hardware in Sandy, Oregon for having weird stuff. You know, if you have a small town hardware store, you can, I don't know about you, but you can never quite figure out what they are or are not going to have on hand. believe that's not going anywhere. And if rocks should hit this, it should stay. This is like some kind of rubbery type stuff, so hopefully we're kind of in the right ballpark. This just made my weekend right here. I know it's not probably the proper way to do it, but given my use case for this trailer, I suspect that she's probably going to be a permanent fixture. It kind of amazes me how the right part, it took me 5 minutes to replace that, and I spent, I don't know, an hour or two messing with old junky parts that I had on hand, and I think I made a trip or two to the hardware store. So I wasted 20 or 25 bucks at the hardware store, went to a bigger hardware store, and came out with what I think is the exact right part for under $10. It was like $9.90 something. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and tune in the future for more marginal projects and content. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Appreciate you watching. Words are very difficult. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and tune in the future for more marginal projects and content.